self-acceptance. And like I think it also comes down to like what you're speaking to someone and also how you're being perceived in that situation. You get what I'm saying? And it like I like every single conversation that I have, like regardless if I'm right or wrong, it's not about me being right. Like that's the way I pursue every single conversation. Even if I have like a disagreement upon the situation, it's like, all right, like I've always had the mentality just based of like what other people have taught me has been like, hey, what can I learn from you? It's not about like a right or a wrong, but what can I learn from you? What can you learn from me? And how can we move forward together? It's about building that foundation together. And I just feel like, and not to bring like politics into this or anything like that, but especially like with the Trump campaign, like it was very like black and white. And like with the other side of it, it was just like, hey bro, like let's just have a conversation. Like let's just talk.
I'm gonna have to
talk
challenge
about
you right
this.
there. I'm gonna have to challenge you right there, and here's why.
Right. Okay.
When you mentioned Trump about the Trump campaign about being judgmental, let me say this for the people on your side and for the people on that side over there.
Sure.
Y'all all being played. You being played because they're exploiting stuff that's in your favor, which is making you vote for them. They are being exploited because they are, what's the way I could say this respectfully? You're married to a certain party. They're married to a certain party. And the only reason why y'all have chosen to be married to that party is because they are voting for what you guys are in favor of and what you guys think.
Sure.
They may not be perfect, but I'd rather vote for this person because they agree more with what I sympathize with than the other side. The problem is, here's the thing. They can make a decision at any given point to exploit or ignore. Let me ask you a question. Me and you got friends on that LGBT community side.
Right.
Don't be surprised in 10 years or 5 years or so, they end up getting ignored. Why?
Right.
I don't need your votes anymore.
Right.
I have you hooked. I've been building this since 2013 when gay marriage got accepted. I have you hooked now.
Right.
You're married to the party. You ain't going to change.
Yeah, but I also think that like there's a difference between like the people who actually, like we were talking about, like communities and things like that. There are people who like, and I'm not trying to put some shade, but there are the people that are like trending because like it's a beautiful rainbow, and to actually seeing what that what LGBT actually stands for, and actually believing those things.
I get that. I'm not going down that rabbit hole of what they believe or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the political manipulative game that happens that people don't realize they're in.
Sure.
So that's why
I can respect that.
I'm giving you kind of education on the fact that y'all at any given point, and this is for people that are also gun owners, also right-wing thoughts, y'all can get played too. I made a decision a long time ago not really to trust any type of party because people can be manipulated and ignored at every given point.
Absolutely. The news, man. I mean, like, the news is not even news. It's not even based off of facts, like Fox. Like,
but and that's another thing.
It's an opinionated station to where it's, like, not built on facts, like, to where it's, like, hey, like, this is what happened here today. It's like, oh, this is how I feel about that situation.
Well, here's another aspect you got to look at. If a liberal buys a news station, what do you think is going to happen?
Sure.
If a conservative buys another publication or a news station, what do you think is going to happen? If somebody who doesn't trust either party at all buys a news station, out of all three of these, what you think? Out of all these three, which one you going to think is fair? You see what I'm saying? Like
it's a marketing scheme for sure. Like I totally.
It's more than a marketing scheme. Like, it's way more than a marketing scheme. It is a, and I'm not trying to.
No. You're good. You're good.
It is way more than a marketing scheme. What this is this is a divisive system, which is what politics is, and we're not going to get on politics too much in this episode.
No, you're good.
When it comes to the political system, the political system forces good-hearted people that want to see a change, to do stuff for the benefit of the party that may piss off the entire public and may stress out several classes of America's more, and then to disguise or distract, here's a story to keep these people, these set of people distracted and go at each other, whether it be racism, whether it be discrimination, whether it be taxes, whether it be money, whether it be gun control. We are going to put out a bunch of hyperbole to distract you from what we're trying to do over here.
Hence is why the whole Trump campaign succeeded. Like,
part of that is true, but there's more to that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's way
definitely
more.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I get where you're coming from, but mentally where you're at, you are more on the liberal side.
Sure.
Safe to say that?
Yeah. No, that's completely safe.
And I'm not judging anybody's political beliefs, but I'm on the side of I don't trust none of these people because this system has been put in place to ignore or exploit.
Right. And I feel like
I understand that, yeah.
I mean, like, so where I stand, like, on all that, I feel like we, as a nation, we're naturally selfish, and
You're not naturally selfish. You were taught how to be selfish. That's the difference.
Okay, I can appreciate where you're coming from.
You were taught how to be. We are not.
To be selfish and blinded.
We are not. You know, we're not to be selfish and blinded, but also we have to understand that we were raised off of Western Hemisphere teachings. So Eastern culture, it's about coming together. It's about community. What are we gonna like? How are we gonna help each other out? That sort of thing. That's why when you look at, I respect the crap out of Asian communities because they will sit over here and figure it out. Like think about it.
I hear what you're saying, but
think about it. Think about Latino communities. They will work together. They will live in a house that's not even as big as my room, and then figure out how to build everybody up and grow several businesses.
Sure, and I completely get what you're saying, but I'm saying within context. So I'm not necessarily saying like selfish in that approach. I'm saying selfish in how it's being capitalized. So what I'm saying is actually for us as a nation, like. It's always about now, and it's not necessarily about the process.
What if I told you it is always going to be about now, and the process will change depending on how much leverage and equity we have on our end as the one percenters and as the elitist in our own brain? We got a bunch of plays on this playbook that have worked for countless of times. Why change it?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And what Ricky Gervais said at the Golden Globes, it was much bigger than cancel culture. It was a psychology class. It was a hard-nosed psychology class about all these things. Because this is like what he pointed out is just what you see up top. You see the plant. What we talking about here is the roots of what he's talking about.
Well, my favorite part about the whole thing of his speech was as he's saying the things that he says, he goes, I know, I don't care. I see your reaction. I don't care. I'm still going to say it because it needs to be known.
Right.
And like that was my absolute favorite part about that because he is aware of the things that he's saying and he knows that people are going to be super upset about it, but people need to know about it. So like it's I don't know. It's admirable that he did that.
I mean, it's warranted. It's warranted, and we definitely need to have these conversations. And I'm glad, and I applaud Ricky Gervais for having to be in the one comedian that wasn't afraid to sit over there and say, "All right, this is just bull crap, and I'm going to say what I have to say." And even if the producers gave him the green light, I think behind the scenes, I think the producers were thinking the same thing, being like, "This is a very
well." And I think like one of the things that just end it is like I think what's awesome about these conversations is that it's actually I guess like we're biased against our own culture with knowing it or without knowing it, right? And I feel like that's where we need to be intact of like what we're speaking and what we're actually acting like.
Right.
And I think that's really the challenge, like, as an activist, to where it's just like, hey, what can I accept, and what can we actually do about it?
Right. And I wasn't, and let me say this for the record. This needs to be heard because people being like, well, why are you picking on? I'm using these as an example so
Sure.
you understand the chess game, the bigger chess games that are going on. And I'm kind of glad we actually touched on this issue more in depth.
Absolutely.